Hello, community. So this time I want to talk about something that's been on my mind last week, something I've been thinking about, and it is next generation. Am I going to go console, or am I going to go handheld, or maybe both? Now, I already have a 3DS, which is next generation handheld. It may not be as powerful as your home system, and people always like to debate these, skew these things down to, well, it's not as powerful as the systems. That's not the point of the argument. Listen, there is an argument to be made for handhelds. Last generation, the DS sold 153 million systems, second only behind the PlayStation 2 in system sales. That when you really break down last generation, when people are debating whether the PS3 or the 360 or the Wii actually won, the truth is the DS was the number one selling console last generation, by far. So far this generation, the 3DS has shipped 31 million systems. And that, to believe it or not, the 3DS is getting all the great Nintendo franchises on it. They're getting the sequel to Link to the Past on it. They're getting the new Donkey Kong Country Returns, which amazes me that, to me, I think the Wii U would have been turned around quickly if Nintendo would have released those games on both the Wii U and the 3DS. But again, that shows you their 3DS is their main console. That, for me, there are a lot of great games coming out for the 3DS. Now, when you look at the home console market, you have the Xbox One, which me and my wife have clearly stated we have no interest in because you have that Kinect camera on there, and you have to have that on to work for the system to work. And as long as that thing's on, and you're not telling me exactly what it does, and I'm not sure what that thing does, I'm not interested in the Xbox One. I don't care. At least with the 360, you can unplug the Kinect. This one, you have to have the Kinect on to play the system. Unless they change it, I'm not interested in Xbox One. And even then, with things they've already done, this is the same way I felt about the GameCube with Nintendo. When they went with the mini disc DVD instead of the DVD, I didn't like it. I did not buy it for that reason. I thought that was a bad mistake. They should have gone with the disc format, the regular size. I don't want a little disc on my shelf. I want, regular size disc like everybody else had. And the same thing went with the PlayStation 3. Sony charged, to me, an exorbitant amount of money that they won the last two generations. I mean, they would have won the PS3 would have won this last generation if they simply would have had a $200-300 price range that every average families could afford, and they would have easily won. Just like they did with the PS2 and the PS1. And I refused to buy that system because of the price and the mistakes they made. That, to me, they broke the trust of the people who bought the last two consoles. And going into the PlayStation 4, again, I've talked about it. The PlayStation 4 is a possibility. The Wii U for us is, right now, would be more of a possibility than PS4 because it has a library. But at the same time, there are a lot of great games coming out for this. I don't necessarily have to get those consoles if I don't want to. And I'm not one of those people who feels like just because everybody else is rushing out to get a console, I better get it or I'm not going to be part of something. Because there's a lot of people who are now just getting a Wii and are getting the 360. I had a friend who just got a 360 less than 6 months ago, and there's a great library of games that he can play. And there's a thing to be said about you don't need to rush. I know the publishers and the developers and the console makers will tell you to go rush it and get out of it, that you need to be part of. They always want you to make like you're this part of this big thing. But right now, I'm happy with the 3DS. That I'm not even looking at the possibility of a console till the end of the year. And even then, it's all about the games. It's all about the software. So my question to you is, are you going to get a handheld this next generation, the 3DS, or the Vita? I just don't talk about the Vita because there really isn't a lot out for it that interests me. And also, maybe there is, because let's be honest, the websites aren't covering the Vita very much, or what's coming out for it. And Sony's not talking about it either. Are you going to stick with consoles this next gen, or are you going to do both? Would love to hear your guys' comment. For me, it's probably going to be both consoles, but for now, I'm happy with my handheld. So I'll talk to you guys later.